why the Kansas City Chiefs will win 2023 second Super Bowl. So we're gonna be going through Kansas City Chiefs news today. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Las Vegas Raiders content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel hitting that red button down below. Chiefs among Super Bowl favorites, but 3 troubling trends loom. With 2 Super Bowls and 4 AFC Championship game appearances in the past 4 seasons, the Kansas City Chiefs have set a high standard for themselves. That's why, despite an 11-3 record, 7 wins in their past 8 games, and Sunday's clinching of another AFC West championship, some people are asking, what's wrong with the Chiefs? In their past 4 games, the Chiefs have a listless win over the Los Angeles Rams, a loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, and narrow victories over the Denver Broncos and Houston Texans, a less than inspiring month for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Struggling against some of the NFL's bottom dwellers does not bode well for their chances against the high-quality opponents they'll meet in the playoffs, which could include the Bengals and the Buffalo Bills, responsible for 2 of their 3 losses this season. We know we have a lot to work on to clean up, at least with the turnovers and the penalties, quarterback Patrick Mahomes said after the Chiefs needed overtime to beat the 1-win Texans on Sunday. We have to continue to get better as a team so when we get to the playoffs, we're ready to go to try to make a run. The Chiefs are still doing many things well. They lead the league in scoring. Mahomes is on pace for his second 5,000-yard season and is a strong candidate for MVP. They are 4th in the league in sacks. Turnovers. The Chiefs are -6 this season in turnover differential, which is otherwise the domain of losing teams. The 2 teams with the worst differential are the New Orleans Saints and the Indianapolis Colts. Those immediately above them are the Rams, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Texans, the Green Bay Packers, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Cleveland Browns, and the New York Jets. The Chiefs have committed at least 1 turnover in 9 straight games. Week 5 against the Raiders is the most recent clean game they've played. Ridiculous, Coach Andy Reid said of the turnover streak. You can't have that. The guys know that. Nobody tries to turn it over, but you've got to do the best you can and hang on to the football and take care of the football. Not only have the Chiefs created few turnovers on defense, but they have also been lousy in preventing the opponent from scoring after a Kansas City interception or fumble. The opponent has gone on to score a touchdown after 7 of the Chiefs' past 9 turnovers. The Chiefs committed just 1 turnover in Cincinnati, but it was Travis Kelce's crushing fumble in the 4th quarter of a close game. Mahomes threw 3 interceptions in Denver, and they allowed the Broncos to climb from a 27-0 deficit to make it a close game. The Chiefs fumbled twice in Houston, and the offensively challenged Texans used favorable field position to drive for a touchdown each time. After the 3-interception game against the Broncos, though, Mahomes didn't put the ball in harm's way in Houston. He had just 5 incompletions in 41 attempts and none after halftime. I looked at the tape of the Denver game, and there were a lot of easy completions that I didn't take, and I was trying to be aggressive, and it worked sometimes, but obviously hurt us sometimes, Mahomes said. Special teams. The Chiefs have usually been strong in the kicking game since Reid arrived as coach in 2013, but not this season. They've lost 4 fumbles on kick returns, with a botched punt return being the game's most significant play in a 3-point loss to the Colts in Week 3. A bigger problem of late has been the kicking of Harrison Butker, one of the league's most accurate kickers in recent years. Butker has struggled most of the year since a sprained ankle kept him out of the lineup for 4 games early in the season. The Chiefs this season are making 75.9% of their field goals, 3rd worst in the league. They are 88.9% on point after kicks, 4th worst. They've missed 7 field goals and 5 PATs, meaning they've forfeited 26 points directly with their kicking game. Their opponents have missed 2 field goals and 0 PATs for 6 points. Being a kicker is little like being a batter, and sometimes you get in a slump, Reid said. He's a great one, and he'll get through it, and then he'll come out of it even better than what he was. You've got to keep kicking, and that's what we're going to do with him. Of late, Butker was perfect against the Rams with 4 field goals and 2 PATs, but the next week in Cincinnati, he missed what would have been the tying field goal, albeit from 55 yards, late in the 4th quarter. He was perfect on 2 field goals and 4 PATs in Denver, but ran into problems Sunday in Houston, where he missed a pat early in the game and later a 51-yard field goal in a tie game near the end of the 4th quarter. The Chiefs couldn't have been comfortable with the thought of sending Butker out for a potential winning field goal in overtime. They never had to make the choice because Jerick McKinnon scored the winning touchdown on a 26-yard run on the first play after they recovered a Houston fumble. Butker said he was working on fixes with snapper James Winchester and holder Tommy Townsend, but that making change for change's sake can make things worse. You don't want to reinvent the wheel, especially during the season. Butker said, "Obviously, you've got to go back to the drawing board if things aren't working out and make some small changes. You don't want to do too much. You've got to stick to the process. You can't just throw everything out the window and try to do something completely new." Penalties haven't been a season-long problem for the Chiefs. They have been penalized fewer times than their opponents, but for more yards. They were a huge problem against the Texans. The Chiefs had at least one defensive penalty on 3 of Houston's 4 scoring drives, a big aid to a struggling opponent that was playing without its 2 top wide receivers and its leading rusher because of injuries. The Chiefs were penalized 3 times for pass interference and once for illegal contact. "You've got to work your fundamentals and techniques, and then you've got to trust them when you're out there," Reed said.